Welcome to Our Schools, Our City. And believe it or not, here we are in December, the last show of this year. And we have an exciting show. Out in the schools, we have our open houses going on. And what we have coming up is a very, very important event for many of our families, which is our pre-K and our kindergarten registration.
That's right.
When our youngest students to be get to visit the big schools.
That's right. It's interesting. I can't believe that we're already in December
I know.
and getting ready for the winter break.
Absolutely.
But before we do that, we have some very important information to share. We're excited to have some really great guests on our show today, some experts in the early education field, so let's meet them really quickly. We have Cheryl Piccirelli, who is the principal at the Capuano Early Childhood Center. Thank you for joining us, Cheryl.
Thank you for having me.
Also with us today is Jessica Ferris, who is a pre-K teacher, part of the SPS Head Start classroom at the Healey School. Thanks again for joining us, Jessica. And with us today is also Nancy Holmes, who is the School Readiness Transition Specialist for the Somerville Public Schools.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us, Nancy.
Thank you for having me.
And so we have three experts to help guide our parents who are looking at the ever important pre-K and kindergarten registration. I'm sure our families are a little nervous about it, and we want to make sure that we give you all the information you need so you have a smooth transition. So just to start, maybe spend a minute and introduce yourself to the audience so that they know sort of what you do and how you came into education into Somerville. So Cheryl, would you like to start?
Sure. The principal of the Capuano Early Childhood Center is a great place to be because this is my 4th year here in Somerville and in the school. It's a very joyous place. I've never actually been in a building where it's all 3 through 6-year-olds, and it's a wonderful experience. I have 13 years of experience as an administrator in elementary education, and if anyone ever has the opportunity to be in a early childhood setting, I highly recommend it. It really is, your day is just full of joy.
It really does have a very different kind of sense than most other schools. You go in and everything is small.
It's me wonderfully.
There's so much energy.
It's full of energy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's colorful. It's,
Yes, it's
it's just
lot of
happy. It's a
light,
happy
it's
place.
happy.
And to see the students and the staff interacting, and just students so excited to learn, right, and to explore and discover.
Yes, they love school.
And so it really is a wonderful place, and we're very fortunate to have you as well. You bring such a wonderful presence to the school, and we kind of came in together at the same
That's
time.
true.
So it's been a professional pleasure to work together. And then Jess's room in particular, which I've been in, is lots of fun.
Oh, thank you. So I teach at the Healey School pre-K classroom, which is very unique. It's a collaborative classroom between the Somerville Public Schools and the Community Action Agency of Somerville's Head Start program. It's the 5th year of this program, so when I first started as a teacher in Somerville Public Schools, it was the 1st year of this program, so I've gotten to see it grow and see families really embrace this opportunity for not just getting to have their children in big school, but to have the wraparound services of Head Start. That really makes it a warm and welcoming place and a unique classroom in the district.
Absolutely. Just so that folks know about Head Start,
Yes.
what would be some of the kinds of supports that a student and a family would receive in a Head Start classroom?
Absolutely. So every class has, at the beginning of the year, there's like a mental health observation. So we can see if there's some social emotional skills that need some extra help, and we'll have someone come into the classroom and do extra work with the children. If there's any, thoughts that there might be some special needs, that we can help with the evaluation process, and just hold your hand through all of it. And then if there's bigger issues like housing or heat issues or needing extra clothes, Head Start is right there to help our families so that children can do their best learning and feel supported. So it really is a wonderful, just a way for children to have the support and to bring home and school together.
Absolutely. And Head Start exists in many locations.
Yes.
But what we have very special, in a special way, is a partnership.
Yes.
And so just maybe take one more minute to just talk about what that partnership is.
Absolutely. So the partnership involves curriculum sharing. So Somerville Public Schools, the SMILE program, all of the pre-Ks in the district, we use social emotional curriculum called Second Step. We do a literacy program, Alpha Chance, and balanced literacy. And that reaches to the Head Start. So Head Starts in the district are benefiting from professional development. But then Head Start comes back with all of these, the big idea curriculum is actually shaping the professional development that pre-K teachers in Somerville are doing right now to really help things feel more organic and to align us but follow the children's lead. So there's just this great back and forth. And then I think just the relationship between the school and the families, it's starting to spread more into the different classrooms in the district. So it's lovely.
Now, in your particular classroom, there's also a Head Start educator that you
Yes.
partner with, right?
Yes, that is, I can't believe I haven't said this. One of the best parts about this is that I have a lead teacher from Head Start and an assistant teacher from Head Start. So there's 3 teachers in the classroom, which
That's
is
awesome.
such a joy. Coming from where I've worked before in a private daycare, I had 3 teachers all the time, but you don't see that. It's
right.
just difficult. And this
Yep.
is so unique because no one is paying out of pocket for the extra support that they're going to get. So it's really lovely to be able to attend to different children's needs and keep the momentum of the learning going. And I have wonderful coworkers who really are so committed, and I know really enjoy being in the classroom as well. Yeah.
Now, this partnership extends beyond the Healey School
It does.
because we do have
At
2
the Capuano.
classrooms,
That's
right?
right.
At the Capuano?
We do. We have 2 classrooms. We don't have partnership teaching, co-teaching going on. However, we had 1 classroom 2 years ago who's been, it's well established, and then we added another classroom. Which is in another part of the building, but since we've had the 2nd classroom, they've really become more part of our community.
That's great.
They do attend all of our PDs. They're offered for all of the services that we have. We have many, collaborative meetings with them. And the children are at lunch, recess. You don't really realize that they're even in a separate program, and the staff has been wonderful. They're very caring, and they're willing to share and help out with everything that we ask. They have great ideas about those wraparound services. You know, like sometimes thinking larger about a family unit.
Yeah, definitely one of our key partnerships.
Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for all your work
Oh.
in the
Yeah.
classroom. And then Nancy,
Yes.
school readiness.
School readiness, yes. So this is the start of my 25th year working for the Somerville Public Schools.
Awesome.
Yes, and I had 4 children go through my house, so I feel like this is home
That's
for me. And it's an amazing time now to start to work with parents because they are nervous. This is a big step.
Yeah.
That's right.
And they want to make sure that they're making the right decision for their children. So we come in and we tell them you're more nervous than your child is, and we're going to do the best that we can. And we walk them through the registration process, which because of the Parent Information Center, and I think it probably started not too long, but right after I started, they have the multilingual services, so parents feel so welcome just being able to walk in and having all their needs met when they come in through the door. So we're ready, we're eager, we love seeing the parents, and then we also are able to assist them with doing them online.
Yeah, it's such a important piece because it's a transition for the parents as well.
Right. Yes, exactly.
As it is for our youngest students.
Right.
So just in terms of the actual registration process, what do you think are some of the key pieces that our families should know? What can they expect, and what steps do they need to take? Because this all kicks off January 12th.
It does, January 12th, and we actually joked with the parents from your 12:01 a.m. from your in your pajamas, you could start the process. And we know that it's a Saturday, and what they can do is we have created a sheet that will tell them to gather all their information that they need, and the process really is a quick process. If you have all of the information and all of your telephone numbers, which are important, they will go online to the Somerville Public School website, and they will create an account in InfoSnap. It's called an InfoSnap, but we will have all the links there. They can literally click on it, and it will be in all their languages too, so they can be comfortable in their own language filling out the application. It's your basic information that you would fill out on paper, but to have your doctor's information and a couple of emergency contacts And then you can upload your documents from home for parents that are comfortable doing that. Otherwise, they can bring them to the Parent Information Center, and we will be happy to do it here.
Great.
Now, once they've created an account, they don't have to recreate an account every year, right?
They
can
don't.
just
We have
log
actually,
in.
when they come in here, we have them actually write down, it's an email address with a password, and they can use that because in September, they will receive another email for returning students to update all that information, to sort of get away from paper and to try to get it as quick as possible, the most accurate information. For the safety of all students, we will have them use the same account.
Now, are parents able to, if they begin an application and then they need to shift attention to something else, are they able to go back and finish?
Absolutely. You
They
can go
are. It
back in
saves
with
all
that.
that information
Yes,
for
it
them.
saves all the information for
That's
you.
great. And what about, for parents like myself, sometimes I really prefer to see somebody in person
Yes.
and have a conversation. 'Cause I have a lot of questions.
Right.
What's my option?
Well, we will be going out into the community, so we will be at the Capuano Early Childhood Center on the 22nd and 23rd of January from 9 to 2. We will be in the computer lab so that we can assist as many people as possible. And then we can help you walk through that process. A lot of families will have questions, so we definitely will be able to help them and take their paperwork there. We'll also be at the Healey School from 2 to 5 on the 24th. And then we will be at the Parent Information Center every day going forward. We just ask if you come to the Parent Information Center that you make an appointment, because we want to make sure that we have a liaison available for you and that we have a computer so that you can be in and out as quick as possible.
That's great. And are there, on the website, as they create their account, is it clear what documents they need
It is.
and how to upload?
Yes, absolutely.
And what would be
and they would be,
examples?
you need your child's birth certificate or passport for proof of age, the latest physical with immunizations, and then 2 proofs of Somerville residency. So there's a column A and a column B. Column A is basically about your residence, a mortgage or a lease or a residency affidavit, and column B would be a utility bill or a license or a bank statement.
That's great.
Do parents get information in advance, any kind of notification to let them know what the process is going to be like and what documents they need to be thinking about?
We actually did a mailing in November just to let them know about, we had a couple of information sessions where we had parents come with great questions. I had a mom with triplets and wanting to make sure that they were all going to be in the same place, so we assured her that that would happen. And then we have the open houses where the liaisons from the Somerville Family Learning Collaborative are amazing, and they're such a resource for us. And they will give them all the information. They've printed out things for them, and they are doing that this week as we speak.
That's great. Now, as a parent, I would want to know, as I'm thinking about the schools, what would be some key questions as I go out and I visit the open houses?
Right.
What should I look for if this is particularly my first time ever doing this? From the principal perspective,
From a parent perspective, I recommend that people look around and see if they feel that the children appear happy and engaged. You should hear a little chatter. You should see movement. You should definitely see engagement. You should, when you're walking down the halls, you should be inspired by the bulletin boards of student work that's up there by this time of year. It's very representative of what the students are doing in their classroom and who they are as individuals as well. You do get a feel. You get a feel when you walk in. Hopefully that all of the experiences are wonderful, but everyone has just a little bit different personality. We get some very specific questions about aftercare, before school care, that kind of thing. You want to take those things into consideration when you're trying to choose a school, because you want your life to be, as family members, stress-free when you're dropping your child off and picking them up or making other arrangements. Yeah.
So I know that the process, the open house process, is a little bit different at every school. What does the process entail at each of your schools?
So the tours today?
The tours that are going on.
So we have a family liaison. She's fairly new, so other staff members were also giving tours. Nancy helped us yesterday, but the group that I had today were all pre-K families. We just start off with a physical plant tour because, as you know, we have our cafeteria and gymnasium on the first floor. Parents are often very anxious to see children at lunch and how 4-year-olds or even 3-year-olds might manage to get through the lunch and everything. So all of that, and then we go down the academic wing.
Yep.
Pre-K's on the first floor, kindergarten's on the second floor. And we go in a few of the classrooms. Try to go in when there's one empty so that they can really get in the classroom and look around a little bit more.
That's great.
When class is in session, we sort of hover around the edges, and then I ask them to ask the questions when we're outside the classroom. Actually, teachers put a welcome sign on their door when they know it's a good time for families to come in.
That's great.
And they go through art, music, the library, and we take them downstairs and answer all of their other questions.
So they get a really good sense of what the community is
yes,
like and what the
yes.
resources are that are available
Yes.
at each school.
Yes.
What's the Healey like?
So at the Healey, you'll be greeted by parent volunteers. Actually, there's quite a few, and there's some coffee and some treats. And then you get to, they try to, I think, gather people by their interests. So if there's a group of earlier grade parents, they'll travel together, and that's a parent who might have a little more information. They try to, make it match, but we've given some information to the parent volunteers so that they can have a general idea even if they don't have that much experience with a certain grade level. But they tour the building and they pop into classrooms and ask questions. And there's more than pre-K and kindergarten at our school, so there's a lot more to see. And I think families are thinking about the whole trajectory. So is the Healey School where I want my children from pre-K through 8th grade? And I think there's this feeling of, you can feel the learning happening. I've heard it from parents that it's just a really great place to be, and there's a community there that's really welcoming right now, and I'm just hoping that we'll get that continued feel for future classes. Yeah.
Great.
What are some of the questions that you hear parents ask that, for a parent that's watching that hasn't yet come into an open house, what are some of the questions parents ask you?
I know we got one about, safety. That's a big concern for parents, is the building a safe building?
Yes.
And they want to know what they need to do to prepare. And we're like,
That's a really good question,
it is good. It's a great, we tell them, once you make that decision, make that school your own, visit it, walk to the playground. And as far as the academics, they will learn. Like, we want children to be confident and lifelong learners, and it to be a fun place. So don't stress them out with anything else but that in the beginning. But
Good
those
advice.
were, and what will the expectations be coming out? They want to know, like, after a year, what should I be looking for as a parent? So those were our basic questions, and like after school became an issue. Is there after school care, and what does that involve? It's continuation of the day with a lot of outdoor time, because children need to be outside, especially at the Capuano where we were doing tours yesterday. So parents have some great questions.
Yeah, they do. They ask a lot about the recess and lunch and how children adjust, in the first few weeks, and how long does it take to really sit at the cafeteria table or learn to do school. And those social skills really are learned very quickly, the routines, the beginning skills. And by the first few weeks of school, it's amazing to see the small children walking in line, following directions, sitting, listening to their friends and their teachers. Kicks in pretty quickly. Yeah.
So what is a typical day, if there is a typical day, in the life of a pre-kindergartner or a kindergartner look like?
You do pre-K?
Sure, I
and
can
I'll do
tell you about
kindergarten?
pre-K.
Sure.
So pre-K, we have breakfast in the building. Some teachers do it in the classroom, some in the cafeteria. We do it in the cafeteria. Parents are welcome to stay between 8:15 to 8:45, and it gives a great feel because parents are chatting with each other. We bring some activities into the cafeteria so they can kind of work alongside their child, but make sure they're getting at least one meal in.
Right.
And we make sure that they do, but it's comforting for parents to know, okay, I saw them eat like that much cereal and little fruit. But that starts our day, and then we transition to the classroom. And the classroom, we really start our dig into learning. We do arrival jobs every morning, so they know they have to put their backpacks in their cubbies, wash their hands, come sit on the rug and read quietly. Most classrooms will have a whole group activity. So for my classroom, it's a morning meeting. We say hello to everyone. We read a message, kind of set our intention for the day. And then we have choice time, where this is my favorite part of the day because children are given the opportunity to explore around the classroom. There's lots of different activities around the classroom space. There's a dramatic play area where they can act out different social scenes and practice with that collaborative play. Block area where they're building together. We have writing areas in the classroom where children are practicing not just writing, but fine motor skills, so they can squeeze tweezers and transfer pom-poms over from one side to the next. Lots of intriguing activities that they don't realize that they're actually learning a lot and building their skills. And there's also lunchtime and recess, those basic parts of the day. We don't have specialists in pre-K in the Healey school, and I believe that's consistent in all the district pre-Ks, but it's something really exciting to look forward to in kindergarten.
Right.
We get to see the spaces. We go in the gymnasium. We get to see hi to Coach Salam. They love, they get to know the building and the teachers, and then that's something to look forward to. So we'll,
like a fun day.
it's a fun day. Before you know it, it's over. But we have a group time, we read a story, and then it's 1:45, and that's when we say goodbye to children who are not enrolled in after school.
Right.
I want to go back to pre-K.
I know.
And it's fun.
And kindergarten is similar, but we start earlier, 7:30 breakfast for a half hour. We actually have a breakfast club because there are about 15 minutes where parents would be leaving, and we have some staff members that engage with students, work on some vocabulary, maybe math games, different things. Once students are through eating, then it's, we want to keep them active and engaged, so
Right.
we have a little club going there. And their day starts at 8:10. They too will start with a morning meeting after some routines, because many of our children have not been in preschool before, so they're learning the same routines that some of our preschoolers are.
Right.
Then they do a morning meeting. They will do all of the components of a morning meeting, including a greeting and share, setting the tone for the day, just getting to, feel comfortable with one another. And they're really right off to probably a literacy block. Some teachers might have their math in the morning. That would include, maybe it's an interactive read aloud where they're learning, right now it's learning about the beginning, middle, and end of a story. Then they're on to writing. They'll be doing a thinking, drawing, writing program where they're brainstorming ideas and they're learning to draw out stories, because if they can't write their stories, and then eventually writing them. Then they'll probably be at a special in that morning sometime. They have art, music, library, and physical education,
That's great.
rotation, and a 30-minute recess, lunch. And then back into the classroom with, if it's a math activity, they're learning about measurement, right? They could be learning about measurement or really securing number sense in the beginning, but also not just staying with learning your numbers. There are other activities like hands-on experiences that they'll be doing to understand math, while also for students who are learning to either road count or actually understand numeracy. So students are at different levels. We also have an exciting science unit that was launched last year, both in pre-K and
That's
kindergarten, right? If we're aligned pre-K to K, it's nice alignment in science as well as in literacy and math. So they might do some outside experiments, they might do some observations and problem solving, and they do a social emotional learning program, so identifying feelings and learning about empathy and cooperative play and problem solving. And they do have choice time in the afternoon, and it's
That's
theme-based,
great.
based on what the curriculum is going on with the curriculum. And there are some free play things. There's always a block section or a car section, whatever. A dramatic play still in kindergarten.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that they have that free time in the afternoon. And then dismissal is at 2:35.
Sounds like a really full day.
Yeah,
Both
I know.
in pre-K and K.
It sounds exciting to get there. So once the parent registers,
Yes.
what happens next?
Well, once they register, and we have our registration, what we call our first round of assignments will be March 21st. So after that, we will make sure that everything is ready to go, and we will be notifying parents the week of April 15th
Nice.
about their assignment. So It will be, and then from there, we will also give them information about Transition Day that will take place in May this year, and then also let them know what will be happening in September before their child comes.
What happens on Transition Day?
On Transition Day, our current kindergarten students stay home for the day, and our incoming kindergarten children get to go to meet their teacher, get to meet their new friends that they'll have, and some will be old friends because some of them will be children that they know. And we'll get a taste of, in the life of a day of kindergarten, they'll participate in some activities while they're there with their parents. So it's a very comforting thing. And also the principal gets to talk to parents and be able to answer questions about the upcoming year. And then they go home with a bag of goodies. We call them our kindergarten tools, and they can use those during the summer to get ready for kindergarten.
That's great. Now, for parents, from that moment they hit that button and they're done registration till they're waiting, what are the kinds of things that they could do that will help them and their student feel a little bit more ready and relaxed coming into this next big step?
Yeah, I think for some of them, like what we had said, is to sort of make sure that if they start establishing a routine, because even though they may be in a child care center, this routine will be different. So they maybe want to drive by where they think they may be attending and visit their park and, go to the library. We have this talk campaign in Somerville through the Somerville Family Learning Collaborative, so it's starting to ask a lot of questions about what they would like to see in preschool or in kindergarten. So there are some things that they can do to get them ready.
From a teacher perspective?
I think the routines, not only just getting to the school, but if you want to practice that, like, going to bed routine, making them practice that independence and responsibility, because they can do it. Like, if you give a child an opportunity to show what they can do, they will do it, and they'll start to feel that confidence and, oh wow, I am capable of that, and when I go to school I can do all this by myself. So as they start to see themselves as someone who is able to go out in the world, they'll just feel all the more prepared for their first days of school.
This is true. I'd also recommend that parents start to help their children learn to ask questions and keep the wondering going up and talking a lot. This is what we're saying in the talk campaign. I don't know, when my daughter was growing up, I did not do as much talking and explaining as what's, what I see now. And it really helps with children understanding that they're getting to understand their world around them, but just to ask questions, to talk more, explain what you're thinking about every process. Have them help at home, counting out, if you're doing laundry, counting out the socks, counting steps when you're going up and down steps, identifying letters on the road, words on the road, just constant.
And so what's that kind of one thing that at the end of the year, you really feel good about that, as, that you feel like that student really, experienced pre-K to the fullest or experienced kindergarten to the fullest?
I think if they feel that they were welcome and supported at school, that they had that joyful learning, but also that they found success somewhere, but they persisted in the face of challenge. That is something like just knowing that you're able to do that and conquer. They're going to feel that success and let it go through kindergarten and the greater grades. And I've seen it in my previous pre-K students, so it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to be part of.
That's great.
We definitely want them to feel that they've just come from a very caring community, and that they were very, that they were loved and felt a love of learning as well, and inspired.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, you've definitely sold me on the registration process. I love the fact that it is seamless for our families and is easy, and multiple ways of doing it.
Right.
So no matter who you are, you can access it. That's
Absolutely.
important. And to our educators, thank you so much for the work you do to make our schools, all of our schools, very welcoming, and for representing Capuano and Healey so well today. So believe it or not, Susana.
It's amazing. We're out of time. Just a quick reminder, please stay connected, follow us on social media, and visit our website to learn what's happening in our district and across the city. It is that time of year when there's music in the air.
wonderful.
So check our website calendar of events for upcoming concerts throughout the district. And just a quick reminder that our winter break starts December 24th. All schools will be closed December 24th through January 1st.
That's right. And a special thank you, as always, to the crew here that helps us be able to deliver the show to you. So to Steve DiCarlo and to Lenny Scaletta and to Joe Constantine. Thank you very much. We hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and we look forward to seeing you in the new year.
And we're looking to create a nice move. Shoot!